work the exact same way for everyone. So we are in a world right now that works for everyone. The world, and we are working with them to improve and to better our own lives. So now, without further ado, I want to get to my favorite part of the service, and that is our Namaste time, where we take a moment to look at each other, in the eye, to bow, to know that we are a whole, perfect, and complete person looking at a whole, perfect, and complete person. And we do that with Namaste. So let us. Wow, speaking of love, did anybody feel love in that Namaste? There's a lot of love being transmitted and received there, so everything seemed to be working just as we planned. So now that we're all loved up, I want to welcome our practitioner of the day, Bobby Bolden, and she's going to share with us our vision, our mission, and today's affirmation. Oh,
thank you, Dave.
it sounds fine. Yeah, it's not going to be tough.
Okay, great. All right. Namaste, everyone. Good morning. Oh, I see some different faces. Great. So here at CSL Yolo, we have a vision statement. I will read it through once, and then I invite you to join me as we read it again. Vision is to create an environment for all to realize the power of spiritual connection. So will you please join me? Our vision is to create an environment
to realize the power of spiritual connection.
Beautiful. And we also have a mission statement. Our mission is to provide a sanctuary for all to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and live their inherent greatness. And together, our mission is to sanctuary to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and live their inherent greatness. Wow. So now I have an affirmation, and I invite you to stand as I read it, and then I will repeat it. So when you hear this affirmation, just let it flow through your body. So I'll read it once and have you repeat it with me. Today, I remember that every breakdown is a setup for a breakthrough to a better, stronger, wiser version of myself. All right, so let's try this one. Today, I remember that everything is a setup for a break to a better version
of myself.
may be seated. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite Diane Cataldi, our board president, and she will, am I correct, give our announcements. All right, Diane. Good morning, Diane. Oh. I got it.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and we are glad you are here. And hello to everybody online. We're glad you're here too. All right, today's announcements is this Thursday, we will be having our monthly board meeting, and it is on Zoom. And the number's on the board, but it's 978-287-0884, and it starts at 6 o'clock. So join us. Hopefully it will be an hour, maybe an hour and a half, but we have a lot of stuff going on. And so we'd love to have you join us and participate in that. Join Jason Gerardo for a 4-week class called Flex and Flow, and that is starting February 4th. And it will be exploring mind and body fluidity through mindful movement and discussion. And that will be on Saturday, 10:15 to 11:15, and that is a 4-week class. And Dr. Deborah Taylor is going to be having a class, 5 Gifts for an Abundant Life. If you're interested, there's a sign-up sheet in the back, and when we have more details, we'll give you information on that, on where it's going to be and time and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be great. We are planning our annual meeting, or we're going to start planning this at the board meeting, so if you'd like to be a part of that. But we are planning on having our annual meeting on Sunday, February 9th. And at that time, we'll be discussing the prior year and all our finances and everything accomplished, and then start looking forward to this new year. And we also will be voting on our new board members at this meeting. So if you are a member, you have to come to our annual meeting so you can be a part of that. Okay, and Mitch Austin has 2 classes coming up. One is a Rise and Speak, and that is going to be in Citrus Heights. And then he also has another class that is beyond Rise and Speak, and that is going to have the presentation in February, I believe. March. And so I'll get more information. That's a little way off. So we'll have more information on that and how you can come and see it. But if you do have questions now, you can ask Mitch. Okay. That's everything for this week. Fellowship after service today in the bottom floor. So I hope to see all of you there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Diane. I just want to say before we get into our contemplative, that's a hard word to say, our contemplative part of the service, just to introduce who you'll be seeing today. Number one, the incomparable Gary Weinberg. Most of us are familiar with him. He's terrific, he's funny, he's my brother from another mother. I feel like, I swear, I get such a big brother vibe with him, and I just love it. So that is a special treat. And we also have, as a special treat, Mitch Austin is here to do our talk. He's our speaker of the day. And Mitch and I were fast friends. You ever go someplace, you start talking to somebody, and you just become fast friends, and you wind up talking to them forever? Isn't that a wonderful feeling? That is the feeling that I had with Mitch. He is so deep spiritually, and he's so such a gifted speaker that I just can't wait until he's up here and giving us his message for the day. He's really, really a treat, and you will learn something. I guarantee you that. So as we head into our contemplative part of the service, we're going to do another congregational, and then that'll be followed up with our prayer and selection from Gary. So sit back and relax and get ready to contemplate.
Please join me in singing There Is Only Love. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only one. There is only one. Love that heals, that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I lost my way, when I go inside it, only there is only love. There is only love that is, that sets us free. There is only love. There is there is only love that is, that sets us free. There is only love.
Today's reading is by L.R. Nost. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in the darkness for the light that is you.
I'll get this the next time. Light that is you. Let's take a moment and just turn within for a time of prayer. And I just invite you to just breathe with me. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time. Breathe in and out. So breathing. As we breathe, we connect with spirit. And so this morning, as I am breathing, I am knowing that I am touching that place where spirit dwells within me. I am remembering the truth that God is all there is, that spirit is all there is, that there is only the one energy and presence that is flowing through life, flowing through all life, flowing through every tree, every flower, every mountain, every ocean. There's only this one life, and this life is good. And this life is all-knowing. This life is all-powerful. This life is everywhere present. And as I continue to breathe, I feel this life moving through absolutely everything, moving through me, moving through everyone who is here in this sanctuary today. And I know that this life is always expressing love, always expressing peace and joy and vitality. This one life is always expressing the highest and the best for everything that exists. It is abundant. It is filled with all needs met. This one life is who I am. It is what I am. And I am so thankful that this one life is moving through this room right now, moving through this grand Prince Odium, that this one life is moving through me. It is who I am. It is what I am. And I am this life. There is no separation. We are one. I am the love that God is. I am the peace that God is. I am the abundance that God is. I am the creativity and the beauty that God is. And just as I am this, I know that each person here is expressing the same thing, the oneness of God. We are connected in this sea of love. Each person here is love, is truth, is beauty, is wisdom, is divine activity, is divine expression, is divine creativity. We are all one. We are one in the circle of life, and I know that this is good. Yes, it is good. There is no separation, and I am so grateful for this. And as I stand in this oneness, in this truth, I know right now that everything here is blessed, and everything is a blessing. So I bless everyone who has shown up for this service. I bless our musicians. I bless our ushers. I bless those who came early to set up. And I bless each person who is here. Oh, I am so grateful for your attendance. And I'm knowing right now that I'm blessing Gary Weinberg, our musician, knowing that his music will bring us great joy, will bring us great peace will touch our hearts. And I'm also knowing that Mitch Austin will speak words of truth and wisdom and lift us to a place of high consciousness. And I'm also grateful for Reverend David Clark, who continues to guide us, who continues to show us the way, allow spirit to move through him. So today I'm just grateful for Spirit moving in every way, dancing in every heart, singing in every soul. I am just grateful for this. And I know that as each of us is lifted up, that we lift up the world, that we are able to continuously hold in consciousness the highest and the best. The highest and the best for the victims of the shooters, the highest and the best for the shooters. Oh, I know that God is all there is, and no matter what is happening or when it's happening, it's all in divine right order. So I say thank you, Spirit. Thank you for bringing yourself into our world, into our lives, into our souls. And I know that this service is truly blessed. We are all blessed, and I am filled with gratitude. And I ask you to join me in anchoring this prayer with our words, Ashe, with our words, Aho, with our words, Amin, and with our words, Om Shanti. And I say, and so it is.
And so it is.
Morning, CSL, Yolo, universe. I have to say that where I grew up, it would be CSL, Yolo. So this song is my attempt to kind of check out and acknowledge what I see, the circumstances that surround me in the world, and remember on the other side of that, there's Spirit who's got us covered. Every night at 6 o'clock, the anchor man pulls out the daily pain. Plugged in? Life is a dress rehearsal. Now that I'm in tune, I sound weird. It's a good thing we did that because I sound weird. So while I'm doing this, I'll mention I have some CDs with me for the two people who probably don't have my CD. I'm very close to having my second CD, which is entitled "So It Is," and it's got this song will be on. Maybe not. I'm not sure. That's why it'll be such a surprise for you when you see it. Okay. Ah. 6 o'clock. The anchor man goes on the daily. A whole lot more people come. Oh, here we go again. That sounds, guitar's not working today. This is that famous Chinese song. Tuning. I'm running out of jokes. Better work this time. It's not too bad. I've heard of course. Okay, so every night at 6 o'clock, the anchor man doles out the daily pay. A whole lot more people gone. Here we go again. There's just too much suffering everywhere you turn. It's like God just threw up her hands and said, "I'll let the whole thing burn." But then my baby girl crawls in on my lap and she wipes away my blues. So I'm feeling pretty good about the world despite the news. Someone took a chainsaw to America, cut her right in half. It would be funny, but it makes me want to cry, 'cause it's just so hard to laugh. A friend of mine had to close her shop. Took her 10 years to build. And I wonder if all this crap will stop before my faith is killed. But then I see the sun set beyond the hills. Golden tones and deep, majestic views. So I'm feeling kind of good about the world, despite the news. I'm not some starry night dreamer walking blindly through the rubble of a world that's grown too old before its time. But I just can't help believing that we've all got the answers. If we have the will to open up with Fox and my neighbor down the street. Paid for, but I confess I'm kind of beat. I just want to shake my brother's hand. Someday I will get it. So I keep a little space for sanity's embrace, and I will wait for that. See divine intention in it all, and an eagle flying slowly comes to me. When I'm feeling kind of good about the world, yes, I'm feeling pretty good about the world. Yes, I'm feeling pretty good about the world, despite you. Yes, I'm feeling pretty good about the world, despite the news.
Let's give it up again for Gary.
fishing, meeting and everything, whatever you need. I think, Gary, is this our third or fourth gig in a row? He's always my musician every time I'm out. Since Gary.
He is my official speaker.
We're going to take our show on the road. We're talking about it. We need to take this show on the road. So anyone knows me, I need a little space. You know, the spirit just jumps out of me. I don't want to break anything here, so. Good morning.
Good morning.
CSL Yolo, I gotta practice. I didn't practice that. I gotta practice that, it's automatic. So grateful to be with you this morning. Isn't this morning the best day ever? Yeah. Isn't it? Best day? Best day. Let's get that energy up. There's so many places we could be that aren't so great. But we're here today, in community, with each other, with the power, the love of the community. Because here's what I know. We're better together. We're better together. And you know, sometimes we don't feel like coming out to church. You ever get that morning where you're like, I'm just too tired and depressed. Nobody wants to see me. That's when you really got to show up. Because this is where the medicine is. It's also the best day ever because I'm wearing my three-piece suit. You know, I wore the suit today because there's a story behind the suit. There's a demonstration of our principles. Want to hear it?
Yeah.
So back in July of 2021, I came down with a mystery illness. Out of the blue, I had these migraines. I became really fatigued. I would watch the muscles in my legs just ripple uncontrollably. And they did all these tests, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. They only could find high inflammation markers, nothing else. And I was so tired, I couldn't do anything. I'd walk 20 feet, and I was out of breath. And it was really a scary time. Nobody could tell me what was going on. I wasn't getting any better. And I began to think, like, is this my new normal? Or is it going to get worse? It was that dark night of the soul moment. And I began to think about our spiritual principles. I began to think about what we teach. And that we can align with this power, this presence that can work with us and on our behalf in ways that we can't do. So you know what I did? I made a decision. I decided I'm going to heal it, even if I don't know how. And then I began to use these teachings. I reached out, and then I started working with the affirmations, and I started with whatever I could do, which was my 20 feet of walking. And I would say, my wholeness is returning to me now. I would say, my health is here and it is unfolding in my experience. And then I'd walk a little more, and I'd do a little more, and I'd do whatever it took. I even went to an energy healer, right? And the energy healer said, how committed are you to your healing? I said, look, if you told me to go outside and eat long grass, I would do it. That was the level of commitment that I had. That was the level of receptivity. And I was in this constant dialogue with Spirit saying, look, Spirit, I don't know how, but you do. So we're in this together. And without reservation, whatever came through that pipeline, you know, that magical pipeline of the book shows up, the person, the right TikTok video on intermittent fasting showed up, and I did it all without, I quit the sugar, quit the gluten, and I love sourdough bread, quit it. And then I began to get a little better. And I began to walk a little further, and I started to feel better, and my energy was coming back. And now, you know what I do now? I walk 6,000 steps a day. I lost 40 pounds. See, I wasn't well then. I was pretty sick even before I got sick. I was over 200 pounds, I had high blood pressure, I had fatty liver. And I went on this healing journey, and all of a sudden I lost the weight, my blood pressure healed. I went to the doctor, got a CT, and I said, what about my fatty liver? He goes, what fatty liver? There's no fatty liver in there. Oh. Right? I took this journey and this walk. Sometimes we talk about the story of our healing because we don't know how. That's not our lane. That's not our lane. Spiritual principle, our lane is the what. What is it that we're calling in, and then to partner with Spirit in this journey, and then do whatever it is you need to do, whatever you need to let go of, and whatever you need to embrace, and then the magic unfolds. That's when we've let Spirit in to work with us, when we say yes, yes, okay, no sugar, yes, I'll walk, yes, I'll pray, I'll reach out. Here, CSL Yolo, we got practitioners that will pray with you. And here's the thing I know. There's nothing special that I have that you don't have. Right? All these principles and these laws are accessible to all of us. And so I want to invite you, if there's an area that you need healing, maybe it's in your money life, maybe it's in your relationship, maybe it is in your health. I want to invite you, even if you don't know how to heal it, make a declaration. Partner with the Most High and begin the journey. Because here's what I know. You deserve it. And the world deserves that version of you. Yes?
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's not the talk. It's my talk appetizer. I'm so glad I could share it with you today. The title of my talk today is Gracefully Broken Open to the Light. And we're going to start with the first word I'm going to work on is the broken open part, right? The broken open part and why the broken open happens and how it's related to our manifestation and the manifestation process, a little manifesting 101. And then I'll get into the gracefully part. You ever been broken open and wasn't so graceful? Yeah, we know that. But we're going to talk about it from a spiritual perspective and how that shows up in those moments when we need it the most. And last, and certainly not least, I'm going to talk about the light, the lesson or blessing that's coming through those broken open moments and what our role is to receive it. Because it could be there. It could be secret. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to go through all that pain and miss it. Yes? Right? Right. So Elizabeth Lesser, anybody hear of Elizabeth Lesser? Isn't she amazing? She's amazing. Incredible writer. She founded the Omega Institute in New York. And she has this quote that talks a little bit about being broken open. She says, over and over, we are broken on the shores of life. Our stubborn egos are knocked around and our frightened hearts are broken open. Not once and not in predictable patterns, but in surprising ways for as long as we live. And this is part of the process of unfolding and becoming. So maybe you're not in a broken open moment right now. Hopefully today you'll get some seeds in your pocket for when that happens, because we know it will. And if you are going through a broken open moment, I hope that this talk feeds you and it helps you on your journey to move through those broken open moments in a really powerful way. So I said I was going to talk about Manifestation 101. I have a little graphic for us. Not sure where I'm pointing this.
No, it's a big button in the middle.
Big button. Is it on?
It is on. Oh, there it goes.
There it is. Yes. Oh, there it is. What is this one? So this little graphic is, I love this graphic, because it talks about our comfort zone. So right here, everything in your life, call it good, call it bad, you know, the noisy neighbor down the street that Carrie talked about, we have a vibrational match to, and that's why it's in our life, right? This is our comfort zone. And for us to go where the magic is here, your new manifestation, you have to become a vibrational match. Makes sense, right? First law is the law of vibration. Everything's in motion. And everything that's in motion, it has a vibratory signature and it's moving towards each other. Law of attraction, right? So what has to happen is if you want to call in this manifestation, you have to become a vibrational match. Simple. We know this, right? So here's the fun part. When you start to make a decision to move towards your intended manifestation, when you get right here, that's when your inner critic starts screaming, what? You're too old, you're too young, you're not rich enough, you're whatever it is, right? Start screaming. Anybody know that voice? Yeah. And this is when it gets the loudest, when you're about to break the membrane of your comfort zone. And this is where it can feel like all heck is breaking loose. I'm using the PG version, we're in church. All heck is breaking loose. And it can feel like a broken open experience. And so here's the deal. The whole key to this is navigating what I call the gap. I call it getting a promotion. That's what it stands for, right? So what's really happening is you go into this space of unfamiliar vibratory territory, and you are now starting to raise your vibration and make it a match to this thing. You're having to go through your getting a promotion test, and it feels like you don't know where the ground is. You have no orientation, like your compass is broken, right? And this is the time when we really need to step in and use our spiritual tools. Up our prayer, up our affirmations. Phone a friend. We're better together. Phone the right friend, by the way. You don't want to agree with this meaning. Get with a practitioner here, right? Come to church, because this is the place that's going to help you step into your spiritual magnificence. Everyone here is rooting for you. This is where you want to be, right? To help you have that 10 seconds of courage to become the vibratory match and acting as if, right? So important in our manifestations. And knowing that it can feel like everything just broke open. And if you have one of those broken open moments you didn't pick, anyone have one of those? I didn't choose that. Know that that's an opportunity to navigate a gap to a better place that's being called in for you, even if you can't see it. But as I said, sometimes these broken open moments when you're navigating this gap doesn't feel so graceful, right? I know I haven't showed up very graceful sometimes. Like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh my God. But here's the thing. When we are broken open, there's the energy of grace is with us during those really challenging and drawing moments in life. Has anyone noticed that when you've been at your most tender points, your most desperate points, you can see the hand of God or grace active in your life? You can see it so clearly, right? The things that show things, the inspiration, and this is the power of grace. Poet Wilka says, "In the difficult are the friendly forces, the hands that work on us." Another way of expressing grace. You know, Ernest Holmes says that grace is the givingness of spirit to its creation. To its creation, the givingness of spirit. Always there, unlimited, unending, and you don't even have to earn it. I love what Richard Rohr says. Any Richard Rohr fans? Franciscan friar. He's like, if you don't know him, please Google him. He's amazing. He's like on the cutting edge of spirituality. And here's what he calls grace. He calls grace the gap filler. I love that, the gap filler, right? So when we need courage to do a hard thing, grace shows up and gives us that courage. When we need hope, when we're in despair, grace finds a way to deliver that hope. When we need supply, we need resources, grace finds a way to deliver that to us. You know, I love the story of Yolo von Zandt. She's one of my favorite luminaries on the planet. New Thought Minister. She's all on TV. I Can Fix Your Life. She wrote Peace from Broken Pieces, Acts of Faith. Amazing woman. And she tells a story about a time when she was leaving her abusive husband, and in the middle of the night, she heard a voice, "Leave now," because she knew something bad was going to happen. So middle of the night, she grabs all her kids, gets the sippy cups and the diapers, and goes and heads off, and she's going to the subway, and then it hits her. She didn't bring no money. She has no way to get on the subway. And she's going down the stairs, and there's this nicely dressed, dapper man coming up the stairs, and he stops and he looks at her. and says, "What do you need?" And she looks at him and she says, "A cigarette and a Subway token." And so he hands her a cigarette and a Subway token. She goes down a few steps, turns back to look for him. He's gone. Not there. Angel, divine intervention, maybe. And she says, "You know, why didn't I ask for a pack of cigarettes and a wad of cash?" Love that part about her. So I like to think of spirit like a race, like a spiritual adaptogen. So adaptogens in the body, when we take certain herbs, if we take a herbal adaptogen, it adjusts to what we need. So some herbs, like ginseng, will raise your energy. That's all it does. And other herbs, like lavender, will calm you down, right? But there are some herbs that are adaptogens. Ashwagandha is one of those. And when you take it into your body, that herb, the wisdom of that herb will know whether you need your energy to come up or whether you need to calm down. It does both. And I feel like grace is like that. When we're really low, grace knows how to bring us up. And when we're really stressed out, grace knows how to bring us down, to bring that balance and equilibrium into our lives. I love that Richard Rohr says, grace is the key. Something that grace does is it builds a bridge for you, recognizable only from the far side, that carries you across, either willingly or even dragging your feet. Something or someone seems to fill the tragic gap between the ending and the beginning, but only at the point of no return. None of us crosses over by our own effort or merits, purity, or perfection. We are all carried across by an uncreated, unearned grace. Unearned. It's there for you no matter what. I had a personal experience of this. Several years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, I had a major relationship end. I thought I had my forever person. And we'd been together several years, and she just checked out. You know how you can be in a relationship and it's done, but it hasn't ended yet? We were kind of there. And so I ended the relationship. It was so hard. It broke my heart. Like I felt pain in an area I didn't know you could feel pain, that kind of deep. And despair. You know, at the time I was thinking, I'm 51, I've had all these relationships. I thought, maybe this isn't for me. And I was so sad. It was in May of that year. And then come July, I was a camp counselor at one of the teen camps for CSL. And I was there and I was fighting off all this depression and despair. And my good friend from Colorado had shown up, and that's when we always see each other at camp. And she brought some gifts for some people that she knew. And we met at the amphitheater, and she hands me my gift. And I unwrap it, and it's a necklace with a medallion that said, never, never, never give up. And in that moment, something broke, and I was bawling, and all the tears came down because I knew that was grace telling me it's going to be okay and not to give up. She did not know what was going on at the time. And here's the irony. She was the perfect messenger because I had always idolized her relationship with her partner. And you know how you do that? Sometimes you go, that's the kind of thing I want. Well, that was the thing she had. And she was the one. See, grace knows how to do this for us. How to speak to our hearts and how to bring us back up in the world. And then there's the light, right? The light that finally comes through again as we start to come out of those broken moments into our next version of that vibratory self that we are. But we only receive that light if we embrace it. Because what happens in the broken moments is sometimes it can shut us down, make us hard to life. You ever met those people? Tell us how hard life is, how terrible things are, and even though there's light around them, they can't take it in. So we have a very important decision to make as we go through these broken open moments of our lives. It's like, are we going to be the peas or are we going to be the egg, right? When you put peas and eggs in boiling water, the egg gets hard and the peas get soft. Are we going to let the boiling water moments of our life make us hard and the light and the good and the lesson and the blessing can get in? Or are we going to break open like the peas and get soft so we can receive it? See, we have to be ready. We have to be ready when you're going through those broken open moments to remember that the good is coming, that the light is coming, and you have to get ready to receive it. I want you to turn to somebody right now and say, get ready, get ready, turn ready, turn ready. I am your life. Because you hold that hope, what they're all about. Let's keep going. So we're always at choice. There's always something to be grateful. And it's our job to stay ready for that good that's on the other side of our broken open. I love what R.M. Drake says. Sometimes you think you're being put in a hard situation, but in reality, the universe is preparing you for something, and be ready. Discussion about the song Amazing Grace. Anyone song Amazing Grace? Love it. I sing it in the shower. Maybe someday I'll sing it here, but not today. Hurt anyone's ears. But there was one phrase in that song I never really understood. And it was the phrase that 'twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fear relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I believed. And I never understood that first phrase. What, grace taught my heart to fear? What is that? And what I noticed in my own broken open journey over my health unfolding is that undiagnosed condition ramped up my fear about my health to such a place it forced me into healthy living. See, I needed that. You know, like Bernard Beckwith says, we're pushed by pain till we're pulled by vision. I needed a little more pain to get healthy. I am healthier now than I have been in 20 years. Size 34, I'm not that, it's possible anymore. But without that fear, without that smelling salts to the consciousness, I wouldn't have made those changes. I would not have made those changes. And then grace showed up to relieve that fear, to give me the direction, to give me the support, to move through and to get to that higher ground. And since I have been through that experience, it has up-leveled my faith, right? I'm so grateful that I had that experience and what it's bringing to my life, and I can bring to others, right? Share your stories. They're powerful. That's the medicine that's within you. And that's why I do Rise and Speak. So please come see me if you have any interest in it. And here is my prayer for you, that no matter what broken open moments you experience, no matter what the dark night of the soul calls into your life, or any moments of despair and hopelessness that you may encounter, my prayer is that you never, never, never give up. Thank you. Let's take this message, knowing that there is one divine essence, presence, being that I call God, this grand organizing designer that's in all the places and spaces, that's in all the rooms that need to be in for the greater good of the unfolding of each and every person present here today, that your high partner is this presence of love, of power, of wisdom. And it's pouring through to each of us through this lens of grace that may never be shut off or turned away or doesn't judge anyone. It's always there for us. And so I speak my word knowing that each of us is divinely protected, uplifted, and celebrated as we move out upon our journey. And I give thanks for this place, this beautiful community, keeping the light shining of truth into the world and feeding the hearts and uplifting the spirits and expanding the light that is in the world that needs our light so desperately. I give thanks. I give thanks for each and every person present here today. I give thanks for the people viewing online, knowing that this message continues to shine through you, in you, and as you. And so I simply rest in this word, in this grateful heart. I release it, and together we say, and so it is. Blessed be. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mitch. You are my favorite tied thought speaker. Because that guy right there is pretty doggone good, too. It's a little bit of my testimony here. I was carried down the streets of nowhere for what seemed like forever. In spite of all the good that came along, I thought my life would never get any better. Till I made a choice to shake off my trouble, see the world's riches just laid out for me. Spirit open my eyes, my happiness double. A highway is open and free. All the lies they tell on the streets of nowhere, no, you know they just don't ring true. Junk I used to let inside my head, I'm making room for something new. 'Cause I've made a choice to shake off my troubles, see the world's riches laid out for me. Spirit open my eyes, my happiness double. The highway is open and free. I left my baggage right on the streets of nowhere. Now I'm traveling, yes I'm traveling on the road to now here. A lot of trash talking on the streets of nowhere, but I am turning off my ear. 'Cause I'm leaving my old stories in the past, and I am facing all my fears. 'Cause I've made a choice to shake off my troubles, See the world images just laid out for me. Spirit open my eyes. My happiness more than double. The highway is open and free. Open and free. Open and free. Open and free.
I don't mean to brag, but I told you. I did. I told you this was going to be wonderful, and it was. And, man, we are just so blessed. And Spirit is so good, because I wanted to have some way of processing what's going on in the world. And this entire service has been about what is happening in the world, what is happening in our lives, and giving us a context and something to hold on to. And a great reminder that God is always here. This is just wonderful, and it is unfolded just exactly as Spirit has determined that it should. And we're all so blessed for being here. So I just want to say that we are a center that observes the spiritual practice of giving and tithing. And we call it conscious, committed, and structured giving. And there's many ways to give. And to expand your abundance consciousness, we give from our time volunteering, we give of our talents through participation, and we give of our treasure through financial donations. Your gifts help us in our mission to provide a sanctuary for all to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and live their inherent greatness and live your inherent greatness. So there are several ways to give. You can text to give at 530-322-8441. You can PayPal to this address, info csldavis@gmail.com, or you can send a good old check or money order to CSL Davis. Still make it CSL Davis, even though we're in the process of changing this. CSL Yolo at P.O. Box 1361, Davis, California 95617. So now that we know how to give and we know why to give, let us enter into the sacred consciousness of abundance. And I invite you to place your hand over your heart, symbolizing that vibrational energy of circulation, and say with me our abundance affirmation. I give with an attitude of abundance, knowing that as I give, I do receive. Today, I celebrate my prosperity and my ability to share from my overflow of good. I give from the knowledge that all is well. God has been so God gives me everything for blessings. God gives me everything you need. God works my stars. God gives me everything you need. So I give thanks for blessings. God gives me everything you need. God gives me everything. God gives me everything I need. Bless and release these gifts to do their work of proclaiming the good news that all is well. As we have freely given according to the law of circulation, it returns to us, full measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over. So we will always have more to enjoy and to spare, to give and to share. We give thanks, we let it be so, and so it is. Thank you, thank you. And we just want to say a special welcome to the children that are in our audience, that are in our online audience, that are headed our way with their blessed parents and their blessed families. We want to prepare a space for these children, and we say, we love you. We are here for you.
We're here for you.
And we are so glad you're here.
So true.
So we believe in the power of connection at this center. And what does that mean? We believe that there is power in our connection to each other, and there's power in our connection to spirit. Those are rocks. Powerfully, those rocks are holding each other. And that's what we're doing here at the organization. So if you that you can't see your way, come to a practitioner. I'm a practitioner as well as a reverend, and we have prayer practitioners here. Our practitioner of the day, Bobby, and our Dr. Deborah is also a practitioner today, and we are trained to know the best about you. We're trained to see Spirit working in your lives. So come to us. Let us share this good news with you of how Spirit is unfolding in your life for your good. And lastly, we are having fellowship. So please join us downstairs in our fellowship hall. We'll have some goodies. We'll have some coffee and some tea down there and some good times. And just come on down and get to know us. So we're going to have that right after service. And something else has popped in my mind to remember to tell you. And I can't remember. So. What?
Discovery class, she said.
Discovery class. Do we have a date for that?
No, but it's happening.
It's happening. Yeah, it's happening. Discovery class is happening. And I have a sneaky suspicion that's going to be announced in our newsletter. So please make sure that you're signed up for our newsletter. And it'll also be online, our newly revamped CSLYolo.org website. Please come out and visit that. That'll have all of our events and everything that's happening in the center. So thank you for joining us. And
David, what about next week? I heard there's something about testimonies.
Yes, that is what I was. Thank you, Billy. Perfect. About next week. So, what's that? Holy Sunday. Throughout this month, you have been making note of Spirit's movements in your life. So we're going to hear some stories about how Spirit is moving. Stories from you, stories from me, stories from the world. And we're going to look and pick out these moments of grace. As Mitch was saying today, we're surrounded by grace. Grace is our gift. Grace is our birthright. And it is ever present and always available. So that's what we want to talk about next week. So bring your stories and bring your open heart. Get ready to receive grace if you hear about grace. So,
and part of, could I tell a little bit about my story right now, just real quick?
Sure.
Last week, David, I think, made an announcement about why I wasn't at service. And I wasn't at service because I was in the hospital. And I was in the hospital because I started chemo treatment for stage 4 prostate cancer. I think it was referred to as pancreatic cancer. Just want to make sure if anybody's treating, very specifically, I do not have pancreatic cancer. I do have prostate cancer. And I'm moving forward in grace and faith and knowing that I'm ignoring the prognosis and moving way farther past that. So blessings to all of you.
Yes, as we continue to surround Billy in love.
And I got a new do. Hey, is that?
You just wanted to be cool,
Stop
asking. Lindsay's. Perfect. All right. So let's all join together for our peace song, and we want to circle.
Never trust in grace, and always remember that God loves you, and so is.
You should show. You should let it show. It's straight.